Hey everyone, in this video we'll learn how to solve equations that have rational exponents. Let's go through an example together. Let's say we had x to the power of 4 over 3 equals 4. And like with any equation, our goal is to solve for x. We want to isolate x by getting it by itself. And right now what's in the way of x being by itself is this rational exponent right here. Our exponent is a fraction, 4 over 3. So what do we do about it? Well, keep in mind, 4 over 3, let's multiply this by the reciprocal. If we multiply this by the reciprocal, so what's the reciprocal of 4 over 3? That's simply the numerator and denominator flipped, so that's 3 over 4. And that works with any fraction. If you have any fraction a over b, the reciprocal is simply the numerator and denominator flipped, so it's b over a. And when you multiply 4 over 3 by the reciprocal, what happens, let's try to evaluate it and see what happens. You have 4 times 3 in the numerator, that's 12. And you have 3 times 4 in the denominator, that's also 12. And 12 over 12 equals 1. So the important thing here is any fraction multiplied by its reciprocal equals 1. So if you have any fraction a over b, and you multiply it by its reciprocal, b over a, you will almost always get 1. And that's really important here. And I say almost because as long as there are no zeros in your fraction, then you should get 1. If there are zeros in your fraction, then you'll end up with zeros in your denominator dividing by 0, which is an issue. But as long as that's not the case, multiplying any fraction by its reciprocal will always give you 1. And that's really important. So what does that mean for us in solving this equation right here? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to raise both sides to the power of the reciprocal. So 4 over 3. The reciprocal of that is 3 over 4. And we're going to raise the other side to the power of 3 over 4 as well. Now let's focus on this left side right here. So x to the power of 4 over 3, all raised to the power of 3 over 4. What does that do? So according to the power rule for exponents, if you've seen that video, what this means is x to the power of 4 over 3 times 3 over 4. So you're multiplying the inside and outside exponents together, and that's what the power rule says. So you have that on the left side equals, and then this piece is simply 4 to the power of 3 over 4. Perfect. So now we have these fractions being multiplied right here. We have 4 over 3 times 3 over 4. And what did we say about multiplying reciprocals? 4 over 3 times 3 over 4. 3 over 4 is the reciprocal of 4 over 3. This will evaluate to 1. So we have x to the power of 1 equals 4 to the power of 3 over 4. And we've actually already solved for x because now that x is to the power of 1, x to the power of 1 is simply x. And there's our answer. Right there, x equals 4 to the power of 3/4. And we've successfully solved for x, and the trick is to raise both sides to the power of the reciprocal of that fraction. So let's go through a slightly more complicated example together. Let's say we had 2x to the power of 4/5 equals x to the power of a half. Okay, so this example is a little more complicated because now we have x on both sides of the equal sign. We have it on the left side, x to the power of 4 over 5. We have it on the right side, x to the power of 1/2. So this is a little more complicated. So what we want to do is we want to bring both x's to the same side of the equal sign. So let's actually bring this x right here to the other side of the equal sign. And how are we going to do that? Well, as you can see right here, we're multiplying by x to the 4/5 power. So what's the opposite of multiplying by x to the 4/5 power? That's dividing. by that number, x to the 4/5 power. So we can go ahead and divide both sides by x to the 4/5 power. These will cancel out. And on the left side, we are left with 2 equals. And right here, we have x to the 1/2 power over x to the 4/5 power. Now we're very close. X to the 1/2 power over x to the 4/5 power, this right here, we can simplify because according to the quotient rule for exponents, it's another rule for exponents that we've learned. This, dividing exponents with the same bases, dividing two numbers with exponents and they have the same base, so they both have the same base, x and x, dividing both of them equals the difference between both of their exponents. So this is x to the power of 1/2 minus 4/5. And that equals 2. Great. And then we can go ahead and evaluate this. 1/2 minus 4/5. So what is 1/2 minus 4/5? Let's go ahead and just write that fraction out. 1/2 minus 4/5. So when subtracting fractions, as we know, we want to have the same fraction in both of them. So currently they're different fractions. There's a 2 over here and a 5 over there. So we want them both to have the least common denominator as a fraction. And the least common denominator happens to be 10 in this case. So how do we get to 10? Let's just move this a little bit so we have a little more space. So minus 4/5. And how do we get to 10? Well, for the half, we'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 5. And for the 4/5, we'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So let's evaluate this. What is 1 times 5? That is 5. Over 2 times 5, which is 10, minus, and what's 4 times 2? That's 8. Over 5 times 2, which is 10. So we have 5/10 minus 8/10, and we can actually subtract this. So it's 5 minus 8, that is -3. So this is -3 over 10. Perfect. So the next step over here, x to the power of 1/2 minus 4/5. So 1/2 minus 4/5, as we see right here, is -3 over 10. So we'll write this as x to the power of -3 over 10 equals 2. And I'll just switch it up so that so that the x is on the left side, just so in the end we have an x equals. And now at this stage right here, we are in the same position as we were in the first problem we did in this video. So the first problem we did right here, we had x to the power of a fraction equaling a number. And right here, we have x to the power of a fraction equaling a number. And we know what to do at this stage. We are going to raise both sides to the power of the reciprocal of this fraction. So -3 over 10, what is the reciprocal of that? It is -10 over 3. So -10 over 3. And then on the left side, we have x to the power of -3 over 10 times -10 over 3 equals 2 to the power of -10 over 3. Great. And then what is this? What is -3 over 10 times -10 over 3? This simply evaluates to 1. This simply evaluates to 1. And x to the first power is simply just x. So we've gone ahead and solved for x. X equals 2 to the power of -10 over 3. And that's how we solve equations with rational exponents. The key is once you have x on the same side of the equal sign, once you have it combined, then you can go ahead and raise both sides to the power of the reciprocal of that fractional exponent. I hope this video helps, and if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and thank you for watching.